Hey everyone, good Sunday afternoon. Quick update on what's happening in the tropics. Meteorologist Griffin with the latest here. Of course, we have Henri, which has officially made landfall in southwest Rhode Island. Very rare spot to see that, but sure enough, we had a tropical storm come ashore. It was not technically a hurricane when it made landfall earlier this afternoon, and it's still a tropical storm in the 4 p.m. Central Time advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Here's a look at what's happening in visible satellite imagery. Big rain shield moving into western Massachusetts and eastern New York right now. Thankfully, though, the storm looks a lot less organized than it did when it was out over open waters because it's moved over colder waters and it's moving onshore, so it's losing a lot of that energy it needs to hold its strength. That pressure going back up to 997 millibars and the winds up to 40 miles per hour as it moves west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Infrared satellite imagery shows the storm structure even better, and it looks even less impressive on infrared satellite imagery. Normally, you need really cold cloud tops in order to have a good storm structure. That usually indicates strong thunderstorms around the center of circulation, but we're not really having that. That being said, it's still certainly causing some problems in the form of flooding. Lots of flash flood warnings in effect for most of northeastern New Jersey, really New York, a lot of the New York main area around Brooklyn and all of the major neighborhoods and boroughs in New York under a flash flood warning right now as a lot of the heavy rain moves inland. Again, there's that big shield of rain on radar moving up towards Albany and Syracuse right now with those flash flood warnings continuing for Connecticut as well. Here are those rainfall totals the past 2 days. Some spots in New York have picked up 6 inches of rain. Eastern New Jersey, same story. All the shades of purple you see there, that's 6 inches or higher of rainfall. And as you move up towards Connecticut and Rhode Island, rainfall totals maybe not quite as high, but still pretty high for this part of the world at around 3 to 4 inches of rain near places like New London, Ellington, and Hartford, Connecticut. So yeah, pretty impressive storm in terms of the rainfall totals. The winds, not quite as much. That's some good news. You know, it was kind of anticipated that we could see a lot of power outages with this, but I'm sure there are, but it's certainly, wind is not really the biggest problem with this storm. At most, the winds are gusting to around 30, 35 miles per hour, and the strongest winds around the center of the storm are only 40 miles per hour. So it's just barely a tropical storm now as it's moved inland. So let's talk about the forecast track. It's slowing down. You know, it was moving at around 15, 17 miles per hour when it was over the Atlantic Ocean yesterday. Now it's kind of shifting to the west and slowing down at just 7 miles per hour. And it'll continue weakening, but it'll still probably cause a lot of extra rainfall going into Monday before it starts moving back out into open waters towards southern Maine and eventually Nova Scotia by around Tuesday afternoon. And that's the latest with Henri. Does not impact the deep south where I am located in central Alabama. We are watching this, though, another little area of interest marked by the National Hurricane Center. It's got a very low chance of development, though, at just 10% over the next 5 days. That's the only other disturbance out there, and the activity should remain pretty limited for the next 5 days because of a Saharan dust outbreak. More on that in just a sec. I want to show you this first. Next name on the list would be Ida. If we get a tropical system, that would be the 9th tropical system in the Atlantic so far this season, and then followed by Julian, Kate, and Larry. So let's talk about the Saharan dust outbreak. There's a big plume of it that's stretched across right now over the Caribbean, over the Western Atlantic, right over the Bermuda Triangle region, and even as far west as the Bahamas and southern Florida now. They're starting to see some of that dust move in. And it looks like now most of that dust should kind of stay parked to the south of Alabama and across most of the Gulf of Mexico and drape itself over Florida for most of Tuesday and Wednesday. So this could certainly pose some air quality issues down towards southern Florida and as far north as southern Georgia. And most of that dust could likely spread across most of the eastern shores of the Carolinas by Thursday. I was maybe thinking about the possibility that this dust would make it into Alabama, but it probably will not at this point. So that's some good news. Kind of stays down to our south and to our east. So that's the latest for now. Be sure to stay in touch with me on Twitter and Instagram. I probably use those the most out of any social media platform. And of course, you can reach out to me at any time via email, ghardy@cbs42.com, and give me a phone call, or if you wish, my work phone number is right there at the bottom of your screen. Until then, until next time, have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.